So the Supreme Court has decided not to weigh in on a book ban, big air quotes here, case. Jonathan, what's the latest on this?
Okay, so initially starting in May of 2025, the Fifth Circuit Court, which covers Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, ruled that government officials or librarians could exclude or remove books from their shelves for ideological, political, or religious reasons. The assertion made was that library collections are government speech and therefore not protected under the First Amendment of free speech. In October, major publishers, and I'm talking the Big Five, filed an amicus brief with the Supreme Court in favor of the plaintiff in Little versus Yano, which intended to overturn the Fifth Circuit's ruling and, prevent book banning. On December 8th, the Supreme Court decided not to hear the case. I didn't see a reason given for why they decided not to hear it. It could just be something with the paperwork or whatever. So
or
the
maybe
Big Five,
because this isn't a book ban.
The Big Five The Big
Okay.
Five intends to continue pursuing the matter. In other courts, they're trying to form a strong enough precedent that they can renew their challenge and get a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court. Thomas, what do you think?
It's not a real book ban. Librarians are constantly making decisions what books to offer for free on the library shelves. And they're constantly buying new books and they're constantly getting rid of books that are currently on the shelf. Deciding whether a book is on the shelf or not on the shelf, or deciding not to stock a book at all, is not a book ban. A book ban is preventing a book from being sold in the store for people who want to pay for it with money. That is what a book ban is. You don't have a right to have the government buy you a book and put it on the shelf of your local library. This is not a book ban. And it's particularly the case in a school. A school librarian can say this book is not appropriate for children. And let's be real honest here, because that's exactly what these quote unquote bans are all about. It's about keeping pornography away from children. And this is why I really get irritated with a lot of the coverage of these stories.
Right.
Because they don't talk about the fact that this is about putting pornography in front of 5-year-olds. And yes, I know I just got us demonetized. I don't care.
And it wasn't me.
We're 2 minutes in and we're already demonetized. So, this is another reason why I really dislike the Authors Guild, because the only court cases they ever put any effort into winning are the ones protecting adult content, and specifically adult content in front of children. And so this isn't a book ban. This isn't a book ban case. All of the rest of the news outlets are covering this as if it's a book ban case, because they don't want to make the differentiation between the government buying you a book and you buying a book. It's the same thing with the SNAP benefits being used for junk food. You can buy junk food with your own money. It's a free country, but you can't, in some states, use government money to buy yourself junk food for free. It's not banning Twinkies. If you want to buy Twinkies with your own money, you can. And if you want to buy adult content with your own money, you can.
So
rant over.
Is it? Book banning, this is rephrasing things, okay, to try to make your position look better so you can continue a fight here. It'd be like if, I brought another woman home to my wife and said something like, "What, are you against love?" It's like, that's not what we're talking about, man. So, I mean, here we're not against books. We're against problematic content being put in front of little people that should not have access to this content at all in any way. I mean, kids don't need to be blasted with stuff that sexualizes them, radicalizes them, or takes some kind of minority agenda and then amplifies it beyond its actual realistic impact. So I recognize that this is like a two-edged sword kind of thing because it goes either way, but I'm in favor of libraries actually following the majority agenda. Okay, you can't get away from agenda in books, but it should follow the majority agenda and not try to push a cultural shift or anything like that, because that's what the majority reacts to at that point, which is where you get all these fights from and these pointless news takes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really believe in public libraries anymore because of how ideologically captured they are. And these attempts for democratic forces to try to retake some influence over libraries are being fought tooth and nail by librarians who are almost 100% ideologically captured.
Yeah.
And so I think we should make libraries private again. My church used to have a library and it was a part of the church. A lot of churches used to have this, and now people are relying more on public libraries. Running a library with people's leftover books isn't very hard, but we have a lot of news.
Right. But I like those little neighborhood boxes of books just in them, and then you come and take a book and put a book back. Those boxes work really well in my area. Tucson has a lot of those boxes, and they're really popular, and they follow the majority agenda of the people that are in the area because it's totally crowdsourced by the residents of the area.